trees were being felled to make way for a new bypass. She sat down on a felled tree and thereby prevented it from being put up for removal.
Last week in the Sam Miller tree protest trial, we heard the prosecution case against Sam. Today we hear the case for the defence.
My Lordships, may I please the court? My name is Miss Emer Egan. My learned colleague's name is Miss Sinead Blackwell. We are instructed by Miss Niamh Driscoll of Driscoll and Associates. We appear on behalf of the defence. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Miss Miller stands before you today as an innocent woman. She is innocent until proven guilty, and at all times it is the sole job of the prosecution to prove her guilty, beyond a reasonable doubt. Miss Miller, as the defendant, does not have to say anything in her defence. The onus of proof is on the prosecution to prove her guilty. As members of the jury, you are here today to decide on the facts of the case. The judges are the arbitrators, the legal referees. If you have any doubt in your mind at all in relation to the evidence, and that doubt is a reasonable one, then you must give Miss Miller the benefit of the doubt. You, the jury, must realise the consequences of a wrongful conviction. They are so far-reaching that Miss Miller will lose her liberty. A golden rule of Irish law states that it is better that 10 guilty walk free than one innocent be wrongfully convicted. On the day in question, we will show Miss Miller had no intention at all of committing any offence. We will show Mr. Washington was being selfish. He could not have felt threatened. He had a chainsaw in his hand. He didn't like Miss Miller. He called her a particularly grubby individual. He called the guards, which was an overreaction. This resulted in Miss Miller being wrongfully arrested for playing a panpipe, one of the most peace-inducing musical instruments there is. Remember, her constitutional right to a good name is sacrosanct. The prosecution must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Miss Miller is already innocent and will remain so until the prosecution produce evidence to the contrary, to such an extent as to convince you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, beyond a reasonable doubt. By the time our case is finished and you have heard all the evidence, one thing will be clear. Miss Sam Miller is innocent. Thank you, my Lordships.
The defence would like to call Miss Sam Miller to the stand. Miss Miller, could you please state your name again for the court?
Sam Miller.
And what age are you, Miss Miller?
I'm 23 years old.
Where are you currently living?
Mountfield Buildings, Hillside.
And what do you do, Miss Miller?
I'm a committed environmental activist. I'm the founding member of Shebang.
And could you tell us about Shebang?
Well, we're dedicated to protecting the Irish landscape. It stands for Stop Hillside Bypass Action Group.
And Miss Miller, why were you at Kelvin Grove on the day in question?
I was exercising my right to a peaceful protest.
And why was this particular protest important to you, Miss Miller?
Well, the area was an ancient woodland and it was believed sacred to the Druids. It's a civic amenity.
And what were the other protesters doing on this day, Miss Miller?
Well, some of them had chained themselves to equipment there.
Had you?
No, I did not. Others had camped there in the trees.
And did you, Miss Miller?
No, I did not. My tent had a hole in it.
And then what happened, Miss Miller?
Well, the guard decam and they removed them from the area that the trees were going to be felled in, and they set up a police cordon.
And what happened next, Miss Miller?
Well, they cut the trees down.
And how did you feel about this, Miss Miller?
I was very emotional. These trees, there was a sacred area. These trees had been there for hundreds of years. It was really a shame to see them go in such a brutal way,
And did you go back into the site, Miss Miller?
Yes, we did. After they had been felled, we went through.
And how did you do this?
We walked.
And were there Garda were you present?
No, not at the time. They weren't around.
My learned colleague has used a leading question.
Sorry?
My learned colleague has used a leading question.
Very good, yes.